Hey everybody, it's Decap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of March 16th. As always, we'll get started with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week. This week we have Fortified, Spiteful, Grievous, and Prideful. Once again, that's Fortified, Spiteful, Grievous, and Prideful. Um, Not too bad. I mean, Fortified with Grievous can give you trouble. Spiteful is just always going to give you trouble, especially in pug groups. Um, People will just get smashed by these Spitefuls, just unaware or just not ready for them to come out and smash them in the face, or they're a range player and they're a little bit closer to melee than they normally are, and they get smashed by a Spiteful. But other than that, it's not too awful. It's not tyrannical, which most people don't like, and it's not some of the more punishing affixes that can team up with Fortified. Although Grievous is not great, admittedly, unless you have Kyrian vials and stuff to get those stacks off you. So. As far as what's going on in the game this week, we do have the Battleground bonus event. This will be particularly interesting to me. I just finally got Rival on my main character, and so I was upgrading all my gear, and 15,000 honor is not enough to upgrade all your gear, so I do need to farm a little bit more honor, so that'll make that a bit easier. It's also nice for your alts as well, just gearing up your alts in general. We have a PvP Brawl, South Shore vs. Tower Mills going on as well. This week we do have two mini events, both of which are actually not worthless. We have Ungoro Madness going on Wednesday through Friday. I did a video about this one. It's just a little small event. It's actually, when I do these videos, I basically break it down whether it's worthless or not worthless. So it's a very low bar that I set. This one is not worthless, but again, this is a very low bar to clear. Trial Style, that's actually pretty cool. That starts this weekend and goes into next week, a couple days into next week. So Trial Style, that's just where you do your transmog stuff. They have not progressed this as they said they would. I get not putting resources into it, especially now they're working from home and stuff. I get that they aren't putting resources into it, but I hope that this gets expanded on like they said they were going to do when it first came out, with more rewards, more cool little things to go with it, because it's a potential to be something really cool that they just never expanded on after really the first iteration. I think they added like a couple more rewards, but they weren't great, and they just never truly expanded on it since the first iteration. So hopefully they do that, because it's something that I actually think is kind of cool, and they just haven't put enough effort into on their dev end yet. So hopefully that happens. As far as I go, we did in fact get our Mythic Council down finally. There were some big heavy nerfs to Council. You might not think they're too heavy, but what they did do is they made it so you didn't need to have a certain comp to do it. So guilds like ours, we have one Resto Shaman, we have one DK, and the DK sometimes doesn't play every single boss, depending on things. And so, we do not have the comp that people would use for that, which is 2+ DKs, 2+ Resto Shaman. And then if you have some extra boomkins in there, great. We did have 2 boomkins for the fight, so that part was fine. But we just did not have the classes that most people would use for that, and the nerfs allowed for us to basically get it down really quickly and get good progression on Sludge Fist. I don't imagine that fight will last too long next time we are back to it, because we are going to re-clear this week. So very happy about that. I also mentioned I did finally get my rival. We finally did some guild RBGs. We hadn't done that in a while, and I was trying to get there on 2s, and I got pretty close. I got up to like 1750 at one point, just pugging 2s. Sadly, I would say probably mostly carrying people. Not my intent. I'm not trying to carry. I'm trying to find good people to play with, and I did find some good people to play with along the way. I was never really able to link back up with them though. Must have been a one-off on multiple of them where we both happened to be online. But I did find multiple good players to play with as well, but a lot of really bad players mixed in there. So luckily I don't have to worry about that as far as getting at least 1800. 2100 is a whole nother thing. I don't even know if I'm capable of that or whatever. 1800 I know I am fine with. 2000 maybe even. I don't know if I can get 2100. I don't know. I don't have no way to compare my skill level really. But if I can get 2100, great. That'll definitely be my goal for next season. So who knows if I'll be able to pull that off, but I will give it a good try. and hopefully I can do that. So other than that, I have been leveling a lot and playing alts a lot and really enjoying it. So I've decided to just kind of double down on things for this expansion, and instead of like be like, oh, it's so annoying with the covenants and stuff like that, I said I'm just going to double down on it. I normally play about 3 characters, my main character, and then 2 characters that are just very casually geared, so just through regular content. So whatever the regular content get to, which, at this point with the Valor point system being introduced, will just be a step below Mythic. So my 2 alts will be that high, I imagine, and I might even add a third or fourth alt this expansion because it's actually really easy as long as, again, you just kind of commit to the system. So I went ahead and made my Death Knight a tank, made it Kyrian. Just gonna double down to that lifestyle. My Boomkin I PvP on, so I just did only PvP thing. I actually made that Kyrian as well for Kindred Spirits. I don't know if my Warrior will be next. I'm working on a Death Knight as well. And I'm just going to double down, play the character, a cool character with cool abilities on its best covenant. And it's really fun to do that. If you have the time to have multiple alts, or even one alt, to switch things up, it's actually cool. Pick one that's very powerful and pick the covenant that makes it even more fun, and just kind of marry them together, and it's actually really fun to play. It's fun just to, even in casual play, it's fun. Like I tanked a dungeon on my Demon Hunter. I just hit 60, and I tanked just a regular dungeon, and I kind of pulled it like an MDI style, but I was safer and stuff, and if somebody died, I waited for them and stuff like that. I wasn't being mean or anything, but I pulled it like really fast. I did the pulls as close without skipping and stuff as like the MDI pulls it, and it was actually really fun playing a Demon Hunter just because they can do that, right? So had a really good time doing that, even on an alt character on a regular dungeon. I'm having fun. So just living that lifestyle of kind of just saying, hey, this is how it works. The best spec goes into this covenant. I'm going to do that, and it's going to be fun. So just going along with it and having a good time. So as always, I do ask you to subscribe to the channel because that helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody have a good one.